There is a unique kind of agony in betrayal. It rewrites the past, forcing you to question every memory, every conversation, every shared moment. You ask yourself, was any of it real? Did they ever care? Were they always wearing a mask, waiting for the moment they could cast you aside? And yet, no matter how many times you replay the events in your mind, you find no comfort in the answers. The pain lingers, a dull ache in your chest that refuses to fade. You see, betrayal is not just an act of disloyalty, it is the destruction of a reality you once believed in. It is the moment you realize that the foundation you built your trust upon was never solid to begin with. And that realization doesn't just hurt, it shakes you to your core. It changes the way you see people. It forces you to build walls, to question intentions, to carry a weight that was never yours to bear. It turns you into someone who no longer trusts easily, who hesitates before offering kindness, who looks at love and friendship with wary eyes. And while you sit with that pain, they move on. Or at least they think they do. They walk away without a second thought, convinced that their betrayal was justified, that they got what they wanted, that they have won. They laugh, they celebrate, they revel in their perceived victory. And for a while, it looks like they are thriving. It seems unfair, doesn't it, that they could cause such devastation and walk away untouched, while you are left carrying the wreckage of what they destroyed. But let me tell you something, what looks like victory is often the beginning of downfall. Because betrayal is a disease, and it does not just infect the betrayed, it poisons the betrayer. It seeps into their soul, eating away at their conscience, their character, their peace. They may not feel it at first. The thrill of their deception, the high of their selfishness blinds them. But the clock is already ticking, and the day will come when the weight of their actions will fall upon them like an avalanche, crushing them under the same pain they inflicted on you. Because betrayal does not come without consequences. The universe has a way of restoring balance. You may not see it, you may not hear about it, but trust me, they are suffering. Maybe it starts with paranoia. They begin to wonder if the people around them will betray them too. They know what they are capable of, so they assume others are just as deceitful. They live in fear, constantly looking over their shoulder, never truly trusting anyone again. Because deep down, they understand that someone who can betray once can betray again, and they are surrounded by people just like themselves. Or maybe their suffering comes in the form of loss. They lose the very thing they sought to gain. The relationships they formed after you, they crumble. The opportunities they chased, they slip away. Because betrayal is never a one-time act, it is a pattern. A person who destroys trust does not stop after one victim. They continue over and over until they are left with nothing but the ruins of their own making. And then comes the worst part, the realization. The day they wake up and understand that what they had with you was rare. That your loyalty, your kindness, your sincerity was a gift, one they carelessly discarded. And now, no matter how much they search, they will never find it again. They will long for the love, the friendship, the support they once had, but it will be gone. And in its place, there will only be regret. Regret is a cruel master. It does not let go. It haunts them in the quiet moments, in the spaces between distractions, when they are left alone with their thoughts. It whispers reminders of what they lost, of the people who walked away from them, of the damage they can never undo. They will smile in public, pretend they are fine, but behind closed doors, they will feel the weight of every bridge they burned. And while they suffer in silence, you will rise. You see, betrayal does not break the betrayed, it breaks the betrayer. It may hurt you now, but in the long run, it makes you stronger. It forces you to grow, to rebuild, to find a version of yourself that is wiser, tougher, more resilient. And when you do, when you stand in your power, when you no longer carry the pain they inflicted, you become untouchable. They, on the other hand, are left to watch from a distance, knowing they can never reach you again. So, if you are still holding on to the pain, let it go. Let them sit with their own suffering while you move forward. Because while they are stuck in the consequences of their own choices, you are stepping into the life they never deserved to be a part of. They betrayed you, and now they are suffering. And that, my friend, is justice. Betrayal poisons the betrayer first. There is a misconception that betrayal is something only the victim suffers from. That those who deceive, manipulate, or abandon can simply walk away unscathed. That they can commit an act of treachery and carry on with their lives without a second thought. But that is not how reality works. The act of betrayal is not a single event, it is the opening of a wound that festers not just in the one betrayed, but even more so in the betrayer. Think about it. A person who has betrayed another has, at the very core, betrayed themselves first. They have made a choice that reflects their character, a choice that reveals who they truly are beneath the surface. In that moment, they may feel a rush of power, a sense of victory. Maybe they got what they wanted: money, attention, validation, a new relationship, an upper hand in a conflict. But that feeling does not last, because what they do not realize is that every time they betray someone, they are reinforcing a version of themselves that is weak, selfish, and broken. They live with it. Even if they deny it, even if they convince themselves that they were justified, that their actions were necessary, their subconscious knows the truth. They know they are not trustworthy. They know they took the easy way out. They know they could not stand in integrity, that they abandoned someone who cared for them. And that knowledge, it never goes away. It follows them like a shadow, creeping in during quiet moments, whispering to them in the dead of night. This is why betrayers struggle with peace. They can fill their lives with distractions, surround themselves with new people, chase new opportunities, but deep down, they carry the poison of their own actions. They become restless, unable to truly enjoy what they once had. Because when you betray someone, you teach yourself that relationships are disposable. You teach yourself that people are tools to be used. And the problem with that mindset is that it isolates you. They may think they are moving forward, but in reality they are stuck. Stuck in a cycle where trust is a currency they can no longer afford, where every new relationship is built on a shaky foundation of their past actions. Because betrayal does not exist in isolation. A person who betrays once will betray again. It becomes a habit, a pattern. And soon the very world they tried to control turns against them. And when it happens, when the consequences of their actions begin to unravel before them, they will feel the weight of their own choices. The paranoia, the guilt, the inability to trust or be trusted. And no matter how much they try to convince themselves that they are fine, that they have won, the truth will haunt them. They are the architects of their own suffering, and there is no escape from the walls they have built around themselves. Their regret will be their punishment. Betrayal has a way of setting up a trap for the betrayer, one they will inevitably walk into, even if they do not realize it at first. At the moment they commit the act, they feel powerful in control. They think they have manipulated the situation in their favor. They think they have taken from you and lost nothing in return. But what they do not understand is that betrayal is like an investment, one that pays back in regret. And that regret becomes their lifelong punishment. At first, they may not feel it. They may be too caught up in their own justifications, too busy convincing themselves that they did nothing wrong. But time is a cruel teacher, and it always brings people face to face with the reality of their choices. The betrayer may believe they have moved on, but there will come a moment when they are forced to confront what they have done. Maybe it happens when they expect loyalty from someone else and do not receive it. Maybe it happens when they realize that the new relationship, the new job, the new friends they gain by hurting you do not bring them the fulfillment they thought they would. Maybe it happens when they watch you from a distance, seeing you rise, seeing you heal, knowing that they will never again have a place in your life. And when that moment comes, the regret will hit them with a force they never anticipated. They will remember the times you stood by them, the times you forgave them, the times you gave them a love or friendship they did not deserve. And in that moment, they will understand that they lost something valuable, not because you were perfect, not because you never made mistakes, but because you were genuine, because what you offered was real, and they threw it away. Regret is a silent kind of suffering. It does not come with grand gestures or dramatic consequences. It creeps in slowly, quietly, settling into the corners of their mind. It is the realization that they can never go back, that they can never undo what has been done. It is watching their life unfold with the weight of knowing they have burned bridges they can never rebuild. And the most painful part, the moment they finally realize what they lost, they will have no way to fix it. They will reach out, only to find that the door is closed. They will apologize, only to realize that forgiveness does not mean access. They will regret, but regret does not change the past. This is their punishment, not one handed down by anyone else, but one created by their own actions. A punishment they cannot run from because it lives within them. A punishment they cannot escape because it is woven into the very fabric of their memories. So while they sit with that regret, While they suffer in the silence of their own making, you must remember one thing: their suffering is not your concern. Their pain is not your burden to carry. The weight of their regret belongs to them alone. And in the end, they will learn the hard way what they did to you was never worth the price they now have to pay. Karma is unforgiving. There is an undeniable law that governs the universe. What you put out into the world will always come back to you. It may not happen immediately. It may not happen in the way one expects. But make no mistake, karma is real and it is relentless. Those who have betrayed you, those who have hurt you without a second thought, those who have deceived you for their own gain, they believe they have escaped judgment. They believe they have walked away untouched. But what they fail to understand is that karma does not work on their timeline, it works on its own. And when it comes, it is unmerciful. Betrayal is not just an act, it is a ripple. It spreads, affecting not just the betrayed, but the betrayer in ways they cannot yet see. They may believe they have won. They may believe that life is rewarding them for their actions. But karma has a way of ensuring that no injustice goes unpunished. It waits patiently, allowing them to build their false sense of security, to believe that they have outsmarted fate. And just when they think they are safe, it strikes. It happens in ways they never see coming. Maybe the person they betrayed you for turns against them. Maybe the opportunity they stole crumbles in their hands. Maybe they find themselves in a situation where they desperately need the kind of loyalty they once discarded, but there is no one left to give it to them. It is often not a single event, but a series of misfortunes that slowly dismantle everything they thought they gained. So I think, Joseph, the very best form that you can take things is, at first, they may not even realize what is happening. They will blame circumstances, bad luck, other people. They will refuse to acknowledge that their suffering is a direct consequence of their own actions. But over time, the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. The same deception they used against you will be used against them. The same pain they inflicted will return to them in a form even more brutal than they imagined. Because karma is not just about balancing the scales. It is about teaching lessons. They will learn that betrayal does not grant power, it robs them of it. They will learn that deceit does not secure success, it ensures eventual downfall. They will learn that the pain they thought they left behind in your life has found its way into their own. And when they finally recognize this truth, it will be too late to undo it. Karma is not something that can be avoided. It does not discriminate. It does not forget. It does not allow anyone to outrun the consequences of their actions. And those who thought they could betray without consequence will one day stand in the ruins of their own choices, realizing that the cost of their actions was far greater than they ever anticipated. They will always fear betrayal themselves. A person who betrays another lives with an unshakable fear. The fear that they too will be betrayed. It is an inevitable reality. Because deep down, they know exactly what they are capable of. They know how easy it was for them to lie, to manipulate, to destroy trust. And because of this, they can never truly trust anyone else again. They move forward in life, forming new relationships, building new connections, but they are never at peace. Their mind is constantly racing, questioning the loyalty of those around them. They look into the eyes of their closest companions and wonder, are they going to do to me what I did to someone else? Every relationship becomes a battlefield, every bond a ticking time bomb, because they know that trust, once broken, creates a cycle that never ends. This paranoia eats away at them. It keeps them awake at night. It makes them doubt even the most sincere gestures. No matter how much someone reassures them, they cannot shake the fear that betrayal is lurking just around the corner. They become possessive, controlling, unable to fully open their hearts. Because how can someone who is betrayed ever believe in the honesty of others? How can someone who is deceived ever feel truly safe? And here lies the great irony. They will never experience the same kind of trust they once took for granted. the kind of trust that allows a person to feel secure, to be vulnerable without fear, the kind of trust they once received from you before they threw it away. Now they will never know what it feels like to truly believe in someone again. Every moment of peace is tainted with suspicion. Every word of kindness is analyzed for hidden motives. Every new relationship is haunted by the ghost of their past actions. It will only get worse with time. As they age, as they look back at their life, they will recognize the pattern. The friendships that ended in betrayal, the relationships that collapsed under the weight of their distrust, the constant fear that someone is plotting against them, they will live with this paranoia forever, trapped in the consequences of their own actions. And the most tragic part? This fear is not one they can escape. They cannot force themselves to trust again, because trust is not something that can be faked. It is either there or it is not. And once lost, it is almost impossible to recover. So, while they live in constant anxiety, never knowing when the knife they wielded will be turned against them, you will walk free. You will move on unburdened, knowing that the loyalty you gave was real. And while they are left questioning everyone around them, you will have built a life surrounded by people who truly value and respect you. They thought betrayal gave them power. They thought it gave them an advantage. But in the end, all it gave them was fear. Fear that will never leave them. Fear that will torment them for the rest of their lives. And that, my friend, is the cruelest justice of all. They will lose everything they thought they gained. Betrayal is often committed with an end goal in mind. The betrayer convinces themselves that their action will lead to something better. More power, more success, more attention, more pleasure. They justify their disloyalty by believing that they are securing something greater for themselves. But what they fail to understand is that anything gained through deceit is never truly theirs to keep. What is built on lies, on selfishness, on the pain of others, always collapses. What, at the moment of betrayal, they feel victorious. They think they have outmaneuvered you, that they have taken something valuable from you. Your trust, your position, your love, your resources. Maybe they left you broken, abandoned, humiliated. Maybe they walked away with something that was meant to be yours. And for a while, it seems as if they have won. They may flaunt their new life, their new relationships, their apparent success, as if their actions carried no consequences. But that is only the illusion of victory, a mirage that will fade in time. Because the truth is, what is not earned with integrity will never last. No one escapes this reality. Whatever they gain through their betrayal is built on unstable ground, and sooner or later, it will crumble beneath them. If they betrayed you for a new relationship, that relationship will never be secure. It will be haunted by the very same deception they used to obtain it. They will always question whether the person they chose over you will one day betray them in return. They will never feel at peace because deep down, they know that relationships founded on dishonesty are doomed from the start. If they betrayed you for power or success, their position will be short-lived. Because true power is not seized through deceit, it is earned through respect and trust. And a person who gains power dishonestly will always be surrounded by others just like them, people who are waiting for the perfect moment to tear them down. They may think they have secured their position, but the very same manipulation they used against you will be used against them. The moment they least expect it, they will find themselves replaced, discarded, powerless. If they betrayed you for financial gain, they will discover that money obtained without integrity carries a curse. It does not bring fulfillment. It does not bring peace. It does not bring lasting security. It creates greed, paranoia, and emptiness. They will always live in fear of losing what they took, and eventually they will. Because money gained through betrayal has a way of slipping through fingers. It disappears in lawsuits, in bad investments, in reckless spending, in sudden misfortunes. The same wealth they thought would secure their future will vanish before their eyes. And if they betrayed you out of jealousy, and if they sought to diminish your success, to take away what you worked for, to sabotage your progress, then they have set themselves on a path of self-destruction. Because people who operate from jealousy never find contentment. Their lives become an endless chase, a pursuit of something that will never satisfy them. They will always be looking at others, always comparing, always feeling that no matter what they take from others, it is never enough. Their jealousy will consume them, leading them to make decisions that ultimately destroy everything they work for. What they fail to understand is that when you betray someone, you lose more than just the relationship or opportunity. You lose yourself. You lose the ability to trust others, the ability to truly enjoy what you have, the ability to walk forward in life without fear of your past catching up to you. You lose respect from others and from yourself. And the most devastating part, when they finally realize what they have lost, there is no way to get it back. The damage is done. The doors they closed remain shut. The bridges they burned cannot be rebuilt. The people they deceived will never look at them the same way again. And no matter how much they regret their actions, no matter how much they try to undo the past, life does not give second chances to those who have proven they cannot be trusted. They thought they were winning. They thought they were outsmarting you. But betrayal is a trade one that costs far more than it gives. And in the end, they will come to understand that nothing they gained was worth the price they paid. The people around them will see their true colors. Betrayal is not a one-time act. It is a reflection of a person's true nature. It is a declaration to the world of who they really are beneath the mask. And while they may believe they can hide this truth forever, that they can manipulate their way through life without consequence, they are mistaken. Because deception is like a stain. It never stays hidden for long. The people around them will eventually see through the facade. At first, the betrayer believes they have escaped judgment. They move on with their life, surrounding themselves with new people, convincing themselves that they have left their past behind. But what they fail to understand is that trust, once broken, is never fully repaired. Even if they find new friendships, new relationships, new allies, they will never experience the same kind of loyalty again. Because people talk, people observe, and no one wants to be close to someone who has a reputation for deception. Think about it. If someone betrays once, what is stopping them from doing it again? If they could turn their back on someone who was good to them, why wouldn't they do the same to the next person? This is what others begin to notice. Even the people who once stood by them, who may have believed their excuses, will start to question their integrity, and doubt, once planted, spreads like wildfire. The betrayer does not realize it immediately, but over time, they begin to notice a shift. The respect they once had starts to fade. The admiration people once held for them turns into suspicion. They become the person others whisper about behind closed doors. No one says it to their face, but it's there. In the way people hesitate before trusting them, in the way conversations change when they enter the room, in the way opportunities that once came easily start slipping through their fingers. It is not always dramatic. Sometimes it is subtle. They notice that people are less enthusiastic about working with them, that invitations start to dwindle, that those who once confided in them now keep their distance. They may not understand why at first, but the truth is simple. People do not trust those who have a history of betrayal. No one wants to be the next victim. And then there are the moments when the betrayer's own words come back to haunt them. Because when someone deceives, they often rewrite history to justify their actions. They tell lies to make themselves look like the victim, to paint the betrayed as the problem. But the problem with lies is that they are fragile. They cannot hold up under scrutiny. And the more they lie, the more inconsistencies begin to surface. Sooner or later, people start comparing stories. They start noticing the gaps, the contradictions, the patterns of manipulation. And once someone is exposed as a liar, there is no recovering from it. The mask falls and the world sees them for who they truly are. Even those who once stood by them will turn away. Because no one respects a person who cannot be trusted. No one wants to build a future with someone who has proven they will betray when it suits them. They become isolated not because others are punishing them, but because no one wants to risk being hurt the way you were. And this is where the betrayer begins to feel the weight of their actions. They start to realize that the loyalty they destroyed was rare, that the people they deceived were the ones who truly cared for them, that the admiration and respect they once had are gone, replaced by caution and avoidance. They start to understand that trust is not something that can be demanded, it is something that must be earned. And once lost, it is almost impossible to regain. They thought they could betray you and walk away without consequence. But the people around them are watching, and one by one, they will all see the truth. The betrayer's world becomes smaller, their influence weaker, their connections more fragile. Because once people see the truth, they do not forget. And the betrayer is left to live in the wreckage of their own reputation, knowing that they are the reason for their own downfall. Betrayal is often fueled by an illusion of superiority. The betrayer convinces themselves that they are smarter, more powerful, more in control. They believe that by deceiving you, discarding you, or stepping over you, they have secured their own success. They think they have left you behind, broken and defeated. But what they fail to realize is that the greatest revenge, the most profound justice, is not found in anger or retaliation, it is found in success. The moment you rise above the betrayal, the moment you reclaim your strength, the moment you refuse to let their actions define you, you begin a journey that will haunt them in ways they never anticipated. Because nothing will make them suffer more than watching you succeed without them. Nothing will cut deeper than the realization that their betrayal did not destroy you, it elevated you. At first, they may not notice. They will be too caught up in their own world, too distracted by their own self-interest to pay attention to your growth. But time has a way of revealing the truth. And as you begin to rebuild, as you become stronger, as you create a life filled with purpose, peace, and success, they will start to feel it. At first, it will be subtle. A glimpse of your progress through mutual acquaintances, a casual mention of your achievements in a conversation, a social media post that shows them you are thriving. They may brush it off, tell themselves it doesn't matter. But deep down it does, because they expected you to fall apart. They expected you to remain wounded, bitter, stuck in the past. But instead, you are proving them wrong. And then the jealousy sets in. Because while they may have thought they gained something by betraying you, they are now forced to face the reality that they have lost something far greater: your presence, your loyalty, your energy, your potential. They begin to realize that while they are stuck in the same cycles, the same toxic relationships, the same manipulative games, you have broken free. You have grown.